background and maybe some of the companies that they've invested in. And this panel, of course, is about angel investing and angel funding. I know that's on the minds of many of you right now, so feel free to ask the tough questions today, things that you might not be comfortable asking someone you're trying to get money out of in the moment. We have a few pre-written questions that I'll be asking, but then feel free to jump in at any time during these questions, and then after for the rest of the period.
Putting a picture.
Nice. So first we have Ross Fubini with Kapor Capital. Could you please give a little bit of background?
Sure, my name's Ross Fubini. I'm most recently actually an operator at a company that Kapor Capital was first money into, that we did 2 rounds of venture funding and exited last year. And now I spent a lot of time with the team there doing the investment. And actually, maybe I should, the way that we're thinking about the healthcare right now is the way that we used to think about education, which is we think it's an area ripe for disruption, as everyone here is going to believe, for a bunch of fundamental reasons. And then when we believe that about education, we did 13 investments in education that span from 100K up to north of a couple $1 million bucks. And that's because we believed education was really going to matter. There's going to be lots of opportunity there. And now we're applying the same approach to healthcare, of which we've done 1 investment, but I want to be in a similar position about 6 months from now. So lots of interest in really the education curve, and spending time with a lot of good people in this room, in fact.
Thanks, Ross. Gil Penchina, CEO of Wikia.
Hi, Gil. Currently CEO of Wikia, which is essentially a spin-off of Wikipedia, and before that was part of the very early team at eBay. So I tend to approach this from a very consumer and somewhat of a platform standpoint. I have about 45 angel investments in the last 10 years. The more notable, PayPal, LinkedIn, Evite, and 20 I'm afraid to mention because it's embarrassing. That's the game, and I typically invest anywhere from 5,000 to 500,000.
Right. Gutman.
And the best investment you've
Right
ever
here.
made? Thank you. So Ron Gutman, entrepreneur in health, about 8 years doing this one way or the other, doing research at Stanford, building a company, selling it, and starting a new one now that I'm very passionate about, called HealthTap. But I'm here to talk about angel investing, which I'm doing right now. Focus on early stage, smart companies that can make a real difference in this space. And one thing that is important to my thesis is the purpose. And for those of you who were here at the first kickoff of Rock Health, remember my 3 Ps presentation. The first one was purpose. And I'm looking for companies that, sure, we're all capitalists and we want to make money, and that's important, but we first and foremost want to change the world and help people and save lives. So if you have one of these, I'm happy to talk with you.
Great. And Francine Hardaway of Stealthmode.
Because I did all the marketing for the first health maintenance organization that came into Arizona, and went on from there to market hospitals and doctors. I owned a very large marketing company, sold it to Intel, went inside Intel, hated it, came out, and started an incubator. I've invested in Empower, which is a women's health social network, so to speak, platform. And I'm on the advisory board of that, and I'm now working with a company called WebConnect MD that is a scheduling and notifications. I'm the widow of a physician, which means I ran a medical office. And boy, do I know stuff.
For Gil, there's a lot of blog posts online about pitching to VCs, and you read about this 15-slide deck you have, you're presenting to a whole audience. And I would imagine that the process of pitching to an angel one-on-one is a bit different. So how should I think about pitching to an angel? What documents should I have ready, and what does that process and discussion usually look like?
Customers to validate some data so that I can then go fundraise. So I found that the best founders, it's rarely the things I read, it's their ability to help me grok that they understand what they need to do, so that when they're done, assuming it works, they'll be able to raise money and not lose all my money. So I think that's an important piece of it. I think chemistry is shockingly important. I mean, I've met people within 5 minutes written a check because I don't even care what they're doing. I just think they're really smart and I love what they're doing. And the same chemistry applies to the market, right? You're going after some market, and you're going to pitch 100 people, and 80 of them are going to think you're stupid, and 10 of them are going to think it's interesting, but they want a lot of data, and then there's going to be a few who just go, I get it, right? I was pitching a fellow angel for a company I just invested in, and I had a bunch of people tell me absolutely not, stupidest idea I ever heard. And I talked to my one friend about it, and he goes, I get it, like stop, just stop talking. I get it, here's the check. Let's talk about something else now. So there is a lot of chemistry to people who understand either you or who understand your market perhaps better than you do, and go, yeah, that could work. I get it.
Ron, building on this chemistry question, just as you could meet someone and you hit it off right away and want to invest right away, you could just as likely meet someone and decide immediately there's no way I would invest in this person. I don't even need to hear it. Maybe I'll listen to them. As an entrepreneur, I was hoping you might have some insight on this. We're not all born like Bill Clinton, amazingly charismatic, ready to present ourselves, to hit it off and have that amazing chemistry. What can we do, what should we think about to make ourselves presentable as an entrepreneur in a way that will excite investors, and assuming this will filter all over to recruiting, etc. But what can we do to make ourselves more likely to have that great chemistry?
The most counterintuitive thing ever, which is don't try too hard, just be yourself. I mean, I think that the one thing that actually turns me off, both in angel pitches, but also when I hire people, and when someone is trying too hard and trying to be someone who they are not, right? Or trying to pitch on something that they don't really believe in, and that becomes pretty transparent pretty quickly. And that's actually, to your question, I would focus very much of really conveying the idea that I'm passionate about, that I understand something in, right? And focus on why do I think that the person that me or any other angel investor or anyone else that you're talking with would agree with me on these points, right? And I think that's, and I've seen it again and again and again. Authenticity plays a very important role. Like if you understand something that you're doing and you're passionate about it, and even better if you have some numbers that you can talk with me about, that always help. But like Gil said, some of these things are just very early stage projects that don't yet have numbers. They're just a vision, right? It's like literally a project. But if I believe that you you're authentically and genuinely very excited about it, and you're going to do whatever it takes to make it happen, right? And the second thing, that you have some understanding, you're up to something that seems that is interesting, that's good enough. So don't try too hard.
I got to just add something. Everyone here is very passionate about what they're doing, and they believe in where they're going. And part of that fundraising, 80 of the first 100 people you talk to are going to tell you you're an idiot. It's very easy out of that to become sort of emotionally damaged because you get beat up a lot. And I've seen a lot of people, after that happens, they start taking out their baseball bat during the presentation anytime they get criticism, right? No, you don't understand. I was in an email thread with Jonathan Abrams yesterday about a company where we gave the guy a bunch of feedback and he didn't listen to any of it and kept telling us why he was right. So I don't know how to run my business, and I've been doing it 5 years. I'm still making shitloads of mistakes and learning. And so one of the things I look for is, and I would encourage you guys to do, is the negative feedback is just get over it, right? Like, it's not about you. It's like dating, right? You meet a lot of people, they don't all want to go out.
Which is also awful.
Right? True, very true. But so, it's like, hey, that's great, and the best people, again, right, they can take in that negative feedback and they seduce you to keep the dating analogy going. They take my really nasty feedback. I sent somebody late last night 42 things that was wrong with his site, right? I was like banging on his site. I was like, this is wrong, this is wrong. And he wrote me back and he goes, yeah, you get it. We should talk more.